Guys, how's it going? Welcome to my video. So you guys are probably here because you guys have these codes. These codes are for normally for the VVT issue. There's a P0300 for random misfires and P0014. Normally that's the code for the VVT. If you guys do have this code, obviously you have a check engine light, but let me just tell you guys about this code, and we're gonna go over symptoms of a VVT that's malfunctioning, or whatever issues that you might have that's related to this. But let's just talk about the VVT itself. So basically the VVT actually affects obviously the way the car drives. The VVT stands for variable valve timing, and it's like very important to the operation of the engine. And once you guys start having issues with it, and it's pretty much prone to breaking or wearing out or breaking, and this occurs if you guys have, a lot of times you guys have an older car, high mileage car, like every other part on the car, things start wearing down and breaking over time. So the most important cause of failures for the VVT switch and the solenoid itself is essentially, believe it or not, it's pretty much because of dirty oil, dirty engine oil, sludge, etc, etc. If you guys didn't know, there is a screen on the solenoid itself, and if you guys don't change your fluid enough, what happens is that filter actually gets clogged, and obviously it's going to affect the way the solenoid works. Another thing that's going to cause that issue is low oil. If you guys have low oil, it's going to trigger the code, obviously, because the VVT solenoid is reading that there's no oil going to it for it to have any kind of give any kind of data to the car's computer. But let me just tell you guys what happens, the symptoms that you have. You guys have these a bad VVT or malfunctioning issue, or whatever it is that's causing the VVT to throw that code. So basically, obviously, an engine has to have proper ignition timing. It's absolutely crucial to how smooth and efficient the engine runs. Essentially, the VVT switch monitors the engine and sends information to the computer to adjust the valve timing as needed. However, when that switch is not working the way it's supposed to, obviously it's not going to send out accurate information. And even though the unit is supposed to only work under non-normal driving conditions, it can cause the vehicle's engine to run rough. So if you notice that the engine has a rough idle, specifically if the engine RPM rises and falls from 100 to 300 RPM at idle, you guys might probably have this issue. So the number one issue, guys, might look for is a rough running engine when it idles. Obviously, the most easiest and obvious way to know whether it's VVT that's the issue is, obviously, if there's an issue with your VVT switch or solenoid, the check engine light is going to come on. Obviously, when it comes on, if you guys probably want to, in this situation, to figure out what the problem is, it's probably the easiest way to figure out whether it's the VVT solenoid or switch that's the issue, or it's another thing causing it. And it's very inexpensive. You guys go to AutoZone, they'll do a diagnostic for you for free. You can go to Walmart to get a OBD scanner. So another thing that could be a symptom of VVT issues is if your engine starts having issues stalling out if it's going up an incline, whether a hill, or if it's under load, whether it's you have a lot of stuff in your vehicle, or it's towing something. Obviously a faulty VVT switch is going to cause the engine to misfire, and you know, that misfire could stall your vehicle out. It's gonna run rough not only when it's idling, but it's gonna run rough when a load is put onto it. And this might be caused by an electrical issue with the switch, but a lot of times it's going to be caused by the solenoid itself. Obviously, if you notice this problem, you're going to want to take into account these couple of issues and try to figure out whether the VVT is your problem or not. But let's be honest, all right? If you guys are in this situation, you're gonna know this because of the code that it throws, all right? P0300, P0014. What you're gonna do in these situations, and we're talking about how to either resolve this situation or fix this situation, you're gonna try to figure out whether you have enough oil in your engine. Like was mentioned earlier, if you guys, for whatever reason, if the oil is in a low mark, but you don't see the low oil lights on your dash, still it could cause this VVT issue. You might just want to fill up your oil to the full mark and then see if this issue goes away. Also, while you're checking the oil, you want to make sure whether your oil is dirty or not. All right, so this is even before you guys decide to either swap out the VVT solenoid or the switch. You know, a lot of times the solenoids aren't very difficult to swap out. It's going to be under the hood. It's going to be easy to get to in a lot of vehicles, but that's not, it kind of depends on the vehicle that you have, but I don't think you want to go that route. It might not be the solenoid that's the issue. It might not be the filter on the solenoid that's the issue. It could possibly be the oil. All right, it's the simplest thing. You might want to check your oil to see how dirty it is. You might want to do all that stuff first, get an oil change if that's the case. If it's like really dark and grimy, you might want to get an oil change and see if that affects the, you know, if that gets rid of the issue, that gets rid of the check engine light. You want to make sure that the oil's filled up. Those two things are like, you know, two of the most important things when it comes to resolving this issue. Now, if you do those two things and you still have this VVT issue, the check engine light is still popping on after you erase it, or sometimes it goes away by itself, other times it just it's just on, then you would have to determine whether it's the VVT solenoid that's the issue. A lot of times it's not an expensive part to swap out. In these cases with the VVT issues, you're going to have misfires. It's going to be random misfires. You're going to know that it's random misfires because it's not just going to give you one specific or two specific cylinders that's misfiring from. It's going to say it's firing from probably like all the cylinders. So at that point, you probably know that it's not maybe a coil or spark plug thing. It's probably the VVT itself. But a lot of times when you have these VVT issues, this misfiring issue, you're gonna get the P0014 code, which is pretty much the standard code for VVT issues paired with a P0300 code. So here's the fix for it, right? Just going over it again, the first fix is you're going to make sure that the oil is either filled. If it's not filled, make sure you fill it. But you're also going to make sure that the oil is clean. Maybe in this situation you might want to get an oil change and then see if that fixed the issue. If not, then go to trying to replace. Your next step is probably going to go to either trying to replace the VVT. You might, I don't think you can clean out the filter, but you might, change out the VVT and the VVT switch, and hopefully that actually fixes your issue. If you guys have any comment, if you guys have any of your own opinions on this, of your own, you guys have any of your own personal experiences with this, definitely leave a comment in the comment section. Please subscribe, please give me a thumbs up, all that good stuff. All right, guys, take care.